Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the True Narrative Commentary. I am your host, Million Dollar Man Mark. Today's call was recommended by 520s on YouTube, so thanks for the suggestion. This call takes place on November 11th, 2018, so about 4 months after Gigi got kicked out of the bank's house, and 2 years before the current calls that I've been reviewing. There's a lot of background, and Shawn Lore talked about this towards the end, even though it's over an hour long without me adding any commentary to it. I apologize in advance for the audio quality on this. Gigi is really quiet, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, considering he never has anything intelligent to say. But I tried to equal out the audio as best.
No, I haven't seen it. I don't. I've taken myself out of the loop. I don't. I'm not. I refuse to look at that shit.
All right, cool. Well, let me get the video up for you here. All right, I gotta find Facebook. Hold on. I've been trying to tell you that Shawn Brennan is alive and well, and is back with a vengeance.
I don't give a fuck what he's doing. Whatever he's doing, whatever he's up to no good.
This is all occurring at the time Shawn came out of his vegetarian state, as Gigi likes to put it, and made a video talking about the situation that he had been in and how he'd been in the hospital for a long time, etc. Gigi didn't believe it, so he's having Mike play for him the videos that Shawn made back then.
Well, this is what I understand. I understand that he's gonna file for a change of venue to move the case to California because that's where he resides, and that's gonna be another legal hump we're gonna have to jump.
Hold on, sorry. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
He's considered disabled now, so the court's is gonna have a real hard time not granting
I don't buy that. I don't buy that for one fucking second. I want proof. I want fucking proof of everything. And that last thing I told the judge, if that is him, I want proof. I want solid proof.
Well, that's why the judge's letter is sealed, because of HIPAA violations.
HIPAA doesn't cover diabetes.
Most certainly it does. Anything it talks about a person's medical illness does. And the problem, from what I understand, and this is just fucking what I'm picking up from reading this shit, is that he had a stroke. And that's what I think his video says. Like I said, I haven't heard the whole thing either.
Well, if he told me, if it was raining, and if he was to tell me it's raining, I would still need proof that it's raining.
I mean, I'm sure he has medical documents to support his claim, and that's why the court sealed the record. It wasn't on Shawn's motion. I have Real Pacer now.
Yeah, well, so if it's over a year, you mean to tell me that he was a vegetable for over a year? I don't believe
it's highly possible. And if he makes the allegation and submits documentation from letters, the docs go fucking learn it. I mean, he was in the hospital learning how to talk again. It was that fucking bad. He had a stroke. Making fun of you.
He was doing what?
He had a stroke. Fucking around with you. He had a stroke.
Well, you think that would be? He would then eventually realize that. Look, that I should just take the shit down and move on.
He doesn't. The reason he doesn't think he has to is because Marty McFly is going to fight him.
Yeah, because take the shit down and move on.
This is what I'm telling you, George. They've got a very strong legal team, and I keep trying to tell you that it's not me. I'm not the one doing it. I keep fucking
telling you. When I get the trademark, it is a game changer. Once I get the trademark, then Markland's mission, and then Markland's goes down the commode, it gets reversed, and then I go in there and tell the judge, yes, this is what I have. I've been doing this. I have a Comcast letter saying that I own the material. It's already in my possession. I already have when I get, the trademark. Trademark will be showing that anything that now they're said, past, present, or future, that immediately will come down and be taken down. And Markland's entitlement to it will be evaporated, will be erased, because he did not produce the show. He doesn't own the show.
Gigi is referring to back in 2018 when Will Markland applied for the Gorgeous George Show trademark. Once Gigi found out about this, he flipped his lid. We were able to use it as leverage to get Gigi to drop the lawsuit against Will. In exchange, Will dropped the trademark. And it's been sitting there ever since, and Gigi just now realized he should probably get it.
He's just going to fight you tooth and nail and drag you out, and it's just going to be a who has more money. And from what I understand, Marty McDitch has more money than, he makes more than I do.
Well, we're going to then, if that is true, then we're going to bring him out, his true identity. We're going to tell the courts that this individual has been infiltrating and getting involved. It's not you infiltrating. Then we're going to say that this guy's infiltrating and is involved and is getting involved in this.
He's given you his name and has asked you to do it. He doesn't care because of where he lives.
Well, then
you can't reach out and touch him like you can Will Marklin and Shawn Brennan, and he fucking knows it.
Okay, well, then the judge needs to understand this guy is doing shit from afar. He's doing shit in a different country, and therefore YouTube and the internet provider needs to ban him from posting on YouTube under Yard Wars. I am getting Yard Wars taken down if it's the last fucking thing that I do. But I don't want to get into so put it up there so I can hear it.
Just keep in mind, George, that there's nothing that prevents them from getting help no more than it does you.
Fair is fair. I have sent everything to them, okay? And I have not perjured myself. I have sent every documentation that needs to be sent. Now,
Gigi did very much commit perjury. He filed in form of pauperis because he's a pauper, and in doing so, admitted that he was unable to afford legal costs and fees. After doing this, he turned around and paid Michael Saunders at least $5,000 to do his legal work for him. We have pictures of the checks that George wrote Saunders, and in the memo of one of the checks, Gigi wrote, "for legal help." As much as Gigi likes to deny it, Mike didn't just format papers for Gigi. He authored and wrote the actual court documents and submitted them like they were written by George. You can notice a big fall-off in quality and lack of proofreading once Saunders abandoned George and Gigi had to write and format his own stuff.
They receive it in their post or don't receive it, it's not my concern. It's been sent and it's been provided.
You got
zip code, and I have a change of address. I've got a P.O. box. It's 23242. So
that's not what you filed in court. Didn't you see my little video?
29091 zip 23242. And if not, I can correct it.
That's not what you put on the fucking court documents. They're making they're getting a subpoena for your real address because you never responded to their motion for non-prosecution.
You can do whatever they want to do. It's a simple formality. It's a simple thing that I made an error. I put one extra number in the zip code.
Hold on.
24242.
But you did it not once, but twice. So that's the problem. Here's the other issue. They filed a motion for dismissal for failure to prosecute, and you didn't respond to that at all. They have an active motion to dismiss pending. I'll email it to you. I'll pull it and pay for it and send it to you.
It's 23242. What do you mean dismiss because of what?
There's a motion to not... Where in the fuck have you been? Hold on. Let me pull it off Pacer Monitor here. I got to log in and pull it.
It's 23242. That's not going to dismiss it because I get given my actual...
This is what you're missing. They filed a motion to dismiss for failure to prosecute on September the 24th.
Prosecute?
Let me see, I'm filling code. Gorgeous.
The prosecute, I'm the plaintiff. What are you talking about? I'm the fucking plaintiff.
They filed a motion to dismiss for failure to prosecute.
Well,
Have you not paid attention to any of this? No, I'm concerned that it's going to be granted. I'll read it to you. Comes this day, Defendant Will Marklin, defendant proceeding pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 41B, providing for dismissal where a plaintiff fails to prosecute, hereby files his motion to dismiss for failure to prosecute.
I've given, because of my address, I've given the address. If it's a zip code...
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
You haven't given
your... If the zip code is issue, I can correct that.
What I'm saying, George, what I'm saying is you haven't responded to the motion. You've let it elapse. why not under the Fourth Circuit Local Rule 7, failing to file a reply admits the allegation. This is what it says. Plaintiff on or about July 31st.
You want
me to read this to you?
What number is it? When was it filed? 24th?
Let me download it into the file.
I've got everything that has been filed. It's up
document number 10. This is document number 109. You have no response.
Well, I have responded to it. 113 I responded.
Yeah, they filed a motion to dismiss for non-prosecution. Next is a motion for summary judgment.
Summary judgment was I put in there my address, so that if it's a zip code issue, that can be corrected. Anybody can see the P.O. box being what it is.
This is back when Will was still being sued, and Gigi wouldn't respond to filings he didn't like. He admits to Chris the hacker that he straight up doesn't read when motions come in from Will and Shawn's side, and then would play it off like he never got them. Big shocker, this man is like 0-10 in court, right?
No, listen, do you want me to read it or not? Because you've not responded to it as you were required to do within 14 days of filing it. The next thing is a motion for summary judgment. You're going to have to respond to why you're going to have good cause of why you just ignored this. This is what it says. Plaintiff on or about August 31st relocated his physical and mailing address. On September 19th, plaintiff filed a repetitive motion for default judgment against Shawn Brennan, in which plaintiff failed to provide a valid address on the certificate of service. Based upon information believed, plaintiff is knowingly and intentionally failing to include his address on his pleadings to prohibit Bill Martin and Brennan from being able to serve them in hopes that he can later claim he did not receive their pleadings, which he erroneously believed will result in the court striking.
I did not receive any discovery. It was
electronically filed.
No, it was not received by me. The only thing he jumps to a motion to compel.
It was electronically filed on September 24th. You were signed up for e-filing. You got an email. You just ignored it.
It was not filed in the court documents.
Bullshit! I'm looking at it.
Not filed in the court, and it has already been presented. That you got motion to compel. No motion.
George, Google your fucking case. I'm looking at the docket.
What number was that then?
Document number 109, motion to dismiss or failure to prosecute. You never responded.
That was a motion to compel.
No, it's not. I'm looking at it.
Well, it doesn't matter because I've already stated my new address, and I've also given. I can correct that zip code.
Listen to me.
Circumvents that.
I am, but you don't care what it says. Fuck it. I don't give a shit either.
I've given the address. All I need to do is correct the zip code.
You did not provide. The law says you must give a physical address.
A P.O. box is an address.
Not according to the Fourth Circuit rules. Not according to the Fourth Circuit cases they cited.
Well, we'll see about that because if it was much of an issue, the judge would have already done something.
No, he wants to see you in open court and dismiss the case to your face. The USPS is not allowed to accept service, George. That's why you have to have a physical address where they can mail you.
A jury trial is going. A jury is going to decide this case.
This case is never going to trial, George.
It's going to be in a jury. A jury is going to decide it, not the judge.
It's never going to go to a jury trial.
It will be appealed. It will be appealed. Bank your bottom dollar.
I'm glad I didn't bank my bottom dollar that it would be appealed. I've learned to not take it to the bank when Gigi says he's going to do something. Also, notice how Gigi was adamant about a jury trial, but then later switched to a bench trial. Even George knows he's so unlikable that 12 of his, quote, peers would hate him and side with Shawn immediately.
How do you think you can afford it? The formatting alone costs $400.
Well, I'll do it myself. If I've got to have someone prompt me to do it, I'll do it myself, basically.
You have no possibility. You can't. You simply don't have the skill. That's not an insult on your character. Just you don't have the amount of work. I mean, you're talking some serious shit. Now listen, I'm telling you this shit for free.
They have stolen my material. They keep, and the defamation is tied in with it. and that is the brass tacks. They will not be doing this anymore because it will be reverted. Because once I do what I need to do, I've got a letter from Comcast proving what I've stated, and I've also got this in what I'm going to do, which will take it out. And Markland's going to have to answer the question: does he own the Gorgeous George show? And no, he does not own the Gorgeous George show. And I have proof because I have been doing.
George, you're missing the fundamental. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. The only one who does is you. Everyone else is in it.
What was the purpose of what's the purpose of doing this? What's the purpose of stealing Zod from Nod, taking my show that I haven't even put up yet, that I just had the other week, and taking that shit and putting it up there? They're so glued to every.
What the hell is Zod for Nod? I don't even know what the fuck that shit is.
Yeah, who in the hell put my show up? I haven't even put it up yet. Someone here locally obviously put it up. And
they're posting it all over the place because it upsets you, like the DCMA notices they keep doing.
Well, let me tell you, and you see where that went, didn't you?
George, this is how this will stop. This is how this will stop. You just concede, like a man, that you've been beaten, and it stops.
No, I'm not going to, and I don't have to. I'm not.
No, but it will stop.
I don't have to. I keep forgetting that. It's my fucking material, and it's murked up with defamation. That's why this judge doesn't want to hear the defamation aspect. But I'm sure
the man mailed a bucket of shit to Kristen, a whole gallon of elephant feces.
I know what that is. It's a site that provides fake manure, fake shit, and it needs to be whatever that needs.
He mailed her an entire gallon of feces.
George knows all about these sites that send you fake shit in the mail because Marty did that to him. George, however, didn't know it was fake and got super butthurt about it. He took the package down to the postal inspector and told them to investigate it. Gigi told Chris the hacker that the postal inspector just gave it back to George and they didn't do anything, and George was super mad. Fun fact, if you listen to one of the 2 prank calls I made to George pretending to be Will Markland, he accuses me of being the one who sent it. You sent shit to my house. That's a federal offense, buddy. You're going to prison. Yeah, right.
Well, that right there is a postal thing, and I can't believe, and it got mailed back to him. What she did was a smart thing, which I should have done. Mail it right back to that son of a bitch.
So she did get the gallon of shit.
She didn't open it. She mailed it back. She went to the postal inspector. They looked at it. They confirmed it, and it was mailed back.
They looked at it and confirmed what? It is, in fact, 1 gallon of shit?
And who is that? Who's doing that?
Marty! I keep trying to tell you. He's rogue. Marty does what Marty wants to do. George,
I'm sure that people that can provide him, they can track. If this, look, we still think that it is Markland.
George, I know personally, I know that it's not, and can testify to that fact before a judge. George, you've been kicked out of your house. They're taking pictures of all your shit that you've left. They're making videos daily from inside of the house, and you're spending hours going crazy about it.
I've already told the attorneys about that.
Yeah, but who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them?
Authorities will stop them. They get caught. They get arrested.
For what?
For trespassing.
Against who? There has to be a complaint. Your house is public land. They're going to be in that motherfucker. They're making a bid on the property in a couple of weeks. He was serious about making a bid and making it a good museum. They're very fucking serious about this, and apparently have the money. They know that your property is going up for sale again in 2 weeks.
Listen, if this Marty character continues, I mean, he's not beyond reproach.
They released a call where he called.
This son of a bitch can be brought over here and tried. For
what? They released a call
what he's doing, for the antics that he's doing. He can be tried. He can be subpoenaed. Okay, and he can be asked these questions if he's a real person, what he's doing. That would be a mistake if this guy is sincerely not Markland, which I still think it is.
Sincerely not. I've talked to them both. I've talked to both of them on the phone. They're not. Marty, for whatever reason, you pissed this man off to no end, and he's made it his personal goal to make your life a living.
Well, we're going to make it a personal goal to eventually put him behind a cell. Put him behind a damn prison cell. That's my fucking goal if he keeps doing this shit.
I mean, he just
has to fuck off. He's got, that's that.
They released a call where he called the people that had your house winterized. They paid somebody to go over there and winterize it. He paid for it. I think you must pay through PayPal. Yeah. He went over there and ordered to have your house winterized. And paid to have them do it. They went over there and fucking...
I wonder why my lights were on. I turned the damn shit off.
Yeah, he went and paid to have somebody go in there and clean up the house and take pictures.
What?
Yes. Some company, I don't fucking know, George. You think that this some guy is me. I don't have a car that I drive. I own 2, but I don't drive one. I never drive anymore because of the DUI.
First of all, we know that Danny's been deployed. We know that. I know that Danny's been deployed.
Deployed? Danny's at the fucking post office, you dumbass. What the fuck are you talking about? Danny's been deployed.
He's been... Okay, I thought he was. I thought he went back to serving.
Back to where? Danny's never been deployed to a combat zone. Hotel hasn't been deployed since I went. Hotel hasn't left the country since 2006.
Okay, well, I thought that happened. Okay, so he's not.
Danny's been deployed.
Not bad. Well, then he's been driving.
We're talking about the same Danny that took me to get coffee this morning and just texted me, "Love you, boo boo."
Well, he's been driving you around then to different places, hasn't he? Then.
George, he works 40 hours a week. He works a full-time job for the United States Post Office. Where in the fuck would he have time during the day this time of year to drive me to take videos?
Danny, for those of you that don't know, was Saunders' husband back then. Now ex-husband if you've been following the current Saunders shenanigans. But that was all Kristen's idea that Danny had been deployed, and George just believed it. George also believed that Danny would spend all day driving Saunders around to get pictures of George and Kristen's house, when that was actually Henry doing that. George always referenced the thumb guy, and he talked about the thumb guy a little bit ago. That was Henry back in his early days, would take pictures of George or things relevant to Gigi and give a thumbs up in them. George always thought the thumb guy was Saunders.
George, you gotta stop listening to Kristen, man. She's gonna drive you nuts.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're gonna end up in a fucking mental hospital in a fucking straitjacket.
I'm not going to end up anywhere. What I'm going to say is this, and I don't want to get into a long, drawn-out conversation here.
I'm not mad at you. I hope you're not mad at me. I'm just trying to look
what the fuck? You think this is funny? You think this is all fucking funny? I'm not amused.
No, but you're the only one that's not. Even the judge is amused. She even released a video saying she won't go on the show anymore because of you. Have you not seen that either? Kristen's video.
I'm not concerned about that, okay? I'm not concerned about any of that. Kristen is her own person. She can do. She's her own adult, and she can do what she wants to do.
You better do something to the Mercedes because, from what I understand, Marty's having it towed. Marty's having it towed.
He can't have nothing fucking towed. He doesn't own the goddamn fucking property.
All he's got to do is call. Tow truck drivers are fucking immune from anything they do. The law immunizes tow truck drivers. All he's got to do is pay.
Bitch. I might not still own that house, but goddamn it, that son of a bitch needs to be back the fuck off because he doesn't fucking have any clue. Or he needs to fucking stop fucking around. I will get on the phone. I will get on the phone with the attorney in a bit, and I will tell him what's going on. And explain to them that this guy is interfering from afar.
Why don't you just move the car?
Be extradited.
Extradited for what? He hasn't committed a federal crime.
He will be extradited, and he will be subpoenaed. I don't give a goddamn where he's going to be subpoenaed. If he comes, and then I'm going to get in his grill, and I'm going to ask him what the fuck. If he is not Markland, he's going to be asked questions.
They're two different
what his
people.
Affiliation and association, and what actually has he done altogether. The jury will hear this.
George, do you really think that they're going to let you issue a subpoena to a foreign national in a civil case? He's legally considered a foreign national. He's not a citizen.
He's got dual citizenship.
No, he doesn't. Why would he? He's never been born.
He admitted as such. The first conversation we had.
Yes, he has dual citizenship where he's from and where he now lives.
See, I'm allowing you to get under my skin, and I can't.
What am I doing to you? I'm sitting here.
I'm not. Speaking of horse shit, this is horse shit. The reason why.
What did I do? What have I done? And I'll blame it. Well, I've been nothing but nice to you. Now listen, the first thing you need to do is file a response to their motion to dismiss your failure to prosecute and correct your address. You need to include a physical address, whether it's yours or not.
I have a P.O. box, which is suffice.
Not according to the laws they've cited.
Well, I'll be goddamn if they're going to have an address on me, the current address. They have a P.O. box, and that P.O. box is where I get my mail. That P.O. box is suffice. It's suffice for collectors, and it's suffice for people that need to get a hold of me.
Not a lawsuit, because documents have to be served. Each party has to say that they serve the other at a physical address. You don't believe me? Call Henry McLaughlin.
I'm giving out my address.
Call Henry. Ask Henry if I'm wrong. If I'm making it up, ask him. Tell him I said
it doesn't, look, serve me for what? I'm the damn fucking plaintiff here.
Servant George, because this is what you're missing. Discovery has started, and you're ignoring it. They're serving you discovery documents. And when they write on the bottom that they have to have a physical address because the post office, like Danny, cannot accept service for you. When you just serve a P.O. box, it goes to the post office.
They can serve me in the courtroom. How about that? They can serve me. When they come to court January the 9th, they can present all that, and I'll present what I got to present.
You're giving them a technicality just to be spiteful. You're giving them a win because you're too stubborn to fight with them. I mean, you don't have to.
I'm not giving anybody a win. I have a physical P.O. box.
You have
a P.O. box that can be served.
Will you please go to the court's office or give me an email where I can email you document number 109?
I have given the courts. I just got to check correctly zip code.
You have not responded to 109. It is a motion to dismiss under Rule 41. You're not paying attention.
Well, I will address that matter.
Let me read it to you, and you don't just let me read it to you so you know what it says. Plaintiff on January 31st relocated his physical and mailing address. On September 17th, plaintiff filed a repetitive motion for default judgment against Shawn Brennan, in which plaintiff failed to provide a valid address on the certificate of service. Based upon information and belief, plaintiff is knowingly and intentionally failing to include his address on his pleadings to prohibit defendants Malcolm and Brennan from being able to serve them in hopes that he can later claim he did not receive their pleadings, which he erroneously believes will result in the court striking them from the record in an effort to illegally suppress evidence. Maryland v. 2003. Absent a mailing address in which defendant can serve plaintiffs their pleadings, defendants jointly and severally are thereby prohibited from serving the plaintiff with their discovery requests, such as requests for productive documents, interrogatories, requests for admissions. Based upon information and belief, defendant does not have a valid copyright and has knowingly and intentionally omitted his current mailing address to impede defendant's ability to utilize discovery to prove that there is no issue of material fact and the defendants are entitled to judgment as federal law.
There has been no discovery even filed. They filed a motion to compel.
Because they don't file discovery with the courts. Discovery is conducted between the parties. It's Rule 26. Therefore, because plaintiff has sentimentally set in motion an unconscionable scheme calculated to interfere with judicial ability to partially adjudicate a matter, plaintiff has committed fraud upon the court. This honorable court has repetitively shown plaintiff leniency and latitude with the federal rules of civil procedure, but this clear breach is incapable of being shown such leniency. The defendants again respectfully move this court to dismiss this action as plaintiff has an ongoing lack of respect for this court and the federal rules of civil procedure as a whole. This action of plaintiff complained of herein is nothing more than a vexatious attempt to harass defendant Malcolm clearly demonstrated by the plaintiff's attempt to withdraw his complaint when Marklin rightfully was requesting discovery.
Well, no, it isn't. Okay, I've heard about enough. I've heard about enough. I hear most of what you're saying, but I've heard about enough of it because I hear it, and it's.
You have to please, but you haven't responded to it. This is the law and argument.
Given my P.O. box, my address.
But you didn't oppose the motion to dismiss.
It's a technicality, and I'm sure the judge is going to override it. The judge is going to want to hear this case to fruition. He wants to hear it to the very end.
No, he doesn't. George, they have a video of you with Krista Hacker where you admit to receiving the discovery documents. They have a telephone call between you and Krista Hacker where you admit to receiving discovery documents and not responding to them.
No, well, that's not admissible. That's not even true. That's not even accurate. I don't know where they pulled that up. That's not admissible. This is like what they talk about top to bottom and Midlothian Turnpike and all that shit where they took my voice and made me say some shit that I didn't say. No.
Yes, the classic voice changer the goons used to get him to say things he didn't say. George is talking about the clip of him reading the Craigslist Men for Men page, looking for a post a goon put up pretending to be him looking for gay sex. George then read everything on the page and was caught looking and reading stuff like stocky bottoms for adventures and black men in Midlothian. That initial voice clip was put up because we didn't want to burn Saunders was recording calls back then, but then later on we put the entire phone call up and Gigi got proven again to be full of shit.
Well, let me finish with this. Plaintiff has a general duty to prosecute his case. It is well settled rule that duty has to move this case on the defendant or the court. The court does not have an affirmative obligation to locate the plaintiff. A party not in the district bears the burden of keeping apprised of his strange and his physical address. Corey v. King, 9th Circuit, 98. Plaintiff's general duty to prosecute imposes an affirmative duty to notice the court of any change of address, 1994. If pro se plaintiff adjusts change, he has an affirmative duty to supply the court with the notice of any and all changes to her physical address. While pro se litigants may be entitled to some latitude when dealing with sophisticated legal issues, there is no cause for extending this margin straightforward procedural requirement to a layperson can comprehend. By failing to keep the court apprised of his current physical address, the petitioner demonstrates a lack of prosecution for his action.
Look, I'm not worried about that. Okay, I'm not worried.
Hey, plaintiff, let me just finish reading it so you fucking know what it says, whether you care or not. A plaintiff's failure to apply the court with an updated physical address constitutes failure to prosecute, subject for dismissal under Federal Rule 41B. Provide that failure to prosecute or comply with these rules, defendant may move for dismissal. As at least one court has stated, it is incumbent upon a litigant, including the pro se litigant, to keep the court informed of his current physical and mailing address. Without such basic information, a plaintiff's current address, courts have no recourse but to dismiss the complaint and failure to prosecute. In other words, providing the court with valid contact information is a responsibility of every plaintiff, and failure to abide by this basic requirement constitutes grounds for dismissal under Rule 41. Tennessee,
right.
2011, Tennessee, 6th Circuit, May 7th. And they've got a bunch of different other ones down here from the 4th Circuit all the way around. They've also challenged
landmines.
You're missing something. They filed a motion to dismiss for lack of standing, arguing that the court didn't have subject matter jurisdiction. You're not paying attention, and you're going to lose simply because you won't listen. You have to give them a number where you can be reached by phone, and you have to give them a mailing address where they can email you. And you have to give them a physical address.
There's not going to be a telephone number, and it's not. They've got a P.O. box. I answered that question in the default judgment against Brendan. I've answered that question. I've got a P.O. box. All I need to do is correct the zip code, and I will be doing that. I'll correct the zip code.
What about the motion? What about the argument that the defendant lacks standing, which deprives the court of subject matter jurisdiction? You have not responded to this, and you won't even read it. So here's another issue. Because he's disabled, they're going to move to change venue to California because he can't fly. So because he's now fucking disabled.
It doesn't matter whether he can fly or doesn't fly.
Yes, it does. Look at the fucking rules. They're going to move the court because he's a fucking veggie.
If he's a veggie, he needs to prove it.
I'm gonna play the video for you right now.
If he's a veggie, he needs to prove it. And secondly, this is all hearsay.
No, there is a sworn statement.
He had Dinosaur, he was fucked by a giraffe. Okay, but was he really fucked by a giraffe? We don't know.
Why does his sworn statements not matter to you? You're just ignoring the fucking facts and don't care.
His sworn statement, anybody can lie. People can lie all the damn time.
You just don't care that he's making these sworn statements, and you're just going to ignore it, and you're going to lose.
I want medical proof. I want a doctor's report.
And I believe it has been filed, and that's why the court ordered the document sealed. I can see it on.
Is it an illegitimate doctor? Is it somebody that practiced medicine?
This is what a pompous douche George is. Shawn's doctor submits a document to the court saying why Shawn hadn't responded to George's court proceedings and what his current medical conditions were. That was enough for Judge Gibney, and he had it sealed under HIPAA. However, that isn't good enough for George. Fuck that a federal judge says met requirements. It doesn't meet GG's requirements. Such a prick.
I can see the response, but it's sealed, meaning I can click on it, but I can't.
Well, see, but that puts me at a disadvantage, not knowing what the hell's going on. And
because you won't give them an address to serve you. You won't give them an address to serve you. They filed them.
Given the address, along with the default judgment against Shawn Brennan, I attached, for there's no discrepancies, I don't have it in front of me, no discrepancies, here is my current address.
If I were you, I would go to the courthouse and pull the document I'm talking about and respond to it. But Marty told me, I overheard in the chat.
I don't give a damn about Marty.
Well, there's a letter from a doctor in a hospital that he was living at. He was actually physically living at a hospital. He had a stroke, George.
Well, over a year. Or over a fucking year.
Yeah. He had a stroke, man. That shit'll fuck you up. You people walk all lopsided, have to relearn to talk. I mean, it's some serious shit.
All right, let's hear the video.
Hold on. Let me throw this in the microwave here. Hold on. I'm going to get you straight, George, one way or the other.
I'm actually taking time. I got to work here in a bit, so I got to get going here. So just hear the video.
As soon as I put this in the microwave, I'll do that. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day.
I bet you eat all the time. You eat for 5 people.
I do. I can afford it.
Yeah. For 5 people, you know. Yeah. Yeah, you ain't missing any meals. You gotta take care of that.
That's right.
You gotta take care of that 7-month-old fetus that's in you.
This beautiful figure.
Yeah, beautiful figure. Like fucking. I don't know.
Bet you I could fuck your bitch. No.
Excuse me?
I bet you I could fuck your bitch.
You're living in delusion. I've got a picture of you with your pants split wide open.
Yes, I saw that. That happens sometimes. That happens sometimes.
That's quite hilarious.
A lot of my clothes are utility uniforms, man. That happens. At least I ain't stealing DoorDash orders.
Excuse me?
I said at least I ain't stealing DoorDash orders. That's how you eat.
No, I don't steal. No, I eat. I do.
All right, hold on. I got to put you on speaker because I have a headset. So hold on. All right, can you hear?
Go ahead. Let's hear this video.
Welcome to the long-awaited video. I know you guys have been waiting, what is that, a year and a half now? That's for a very good reason, which I'm going to be describing in just a few moments. Basically, my health, it's been in the shitter, I'm going to say. Last year, while I was moving, I had was really essentially a bad stomach infection, which put me in the hospital for a few months. Then after that, you're going to love this. So you may remember that video that George did. This was something I thought was somebody claimed that, what was it? Oh, yeah. So he claimed that, the deputies came over to the house and saw me running. So let me tell you the story of this. It was essentially a walkout. because I was in the hospital, and I lost all the money thanks to Obama doesn't fucking care. Don't even get me started on that shit. Yeah. Basically, now I'm bankrupt. How do I say? So, yeah. So I was there for 13 for what was one night. Because we had a friend who told me, I really try to stay in one of these places where you might be able to save some money one night.
I can barely hear it.
Why not? So I go there. Sorry, it's like this. Fucking beautiful. God.
I mean, that's the video.
It was all hard with floors.
I can barely hear it. Hey, I can barely hear it. I can barely hear that. Really?
Hold on. I mean, hold on. I got up and went to get my food.
He was talking about Obama. I don't know what he said about Obama.
No, he's saying how your story about the U.S. Marshals is bullshit, that they never really have them.
George always parrots this story about Shawn, that when Shawn got served in the group home he was staying at, Shawn saw the federal marshals come to the door and he jumped out a window and ran away. George claims that the marshals told him this, which makes no sense since it didn't happen. However, in Gigi's world, the true narrative doesn't matter.
Of course he's going to say that.
That he did get served, but it wasn't nothing like that, and that they said they were going to tell you that to make it funny. And you bought it.
Of course he's going to say that. Just like his mother was acting when I spoke to her on the telephone and not crying about what he was doing. Yeah. Of course.
Here's another reference to a great moment in Gigi history. I think this was back in 2015 or 16, but Gigi, being the tough guy he is, couldn't get Shawn to stop making fun of him. So what's he do? He calls Shawn's parents and complains to them about it. Shawn didn't live in their house at the time, and Shawn's mom was aware of George and his BS. She fed him a story that Shawn was abusive and all this other shit to mess with Gigi, and of course he bought it.
Of course he's going to say that. He's going to say that he didn't whack off on the computer talking to Matt Wilson. That's the guy from England, Matt Wilson guy. Of course he's going to lie about that.
Some rapid-fire Shawn lore in this video. Okay, so the Matt Wilson saga. To sum this up quickly, in 2011, a dude named Matt Wilson, who used to be a goon, turned on us after one of the goons made fun of England, where he lived. Yes, that is the reason he turned. It was that petty. After that, Matt worked with GG to try and troll the goons, mainly Shawn. Matt thought it would be hilarious to create a male catfish account and try and get dirt on Shawn. How did Matt do this, you may ask? He wanted to cyber with Shawn. Shawn knew it was Matt from the beginning, from Matt trying to get into a GG Facebook page and just mess with him. Matt later claimed victory that he had successfully cybered with another man for days to, quote, own the trolls and make Shawn look bad. Really showed us. He hasn't been on the grid since 2014, but some of the videos he made for GG about the trolls are still on YouTube somewhere.
He's going to lie about any damn thing.
Well, George, I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
He's a liar. That's what I'm saying, pretty much.
He's filing for bankruptcy, and he had a stroke.
Okay, so let me hear, because he was coming out muffled. So play it from where he was talking about the whatever, that the marshals or whatever.
Basically, now I'm bankrupt.
That's the video to win.
All right, what?
So, yeah. So I was there for 13. What was one night? I was there at the friend who told me, I'm going to try to stay in one of these places where you might be able to save some money sometime. Why not? So I go there. Sorry, it's like this fucking big full of gunk. I mean, it was all hardwood floors. And, yeah. And, I'm like seeing the bathtub was a fucking nightmare, and like it stunk. People were fighting all the fucking time, and I'm saying really Oh, when don't I look like hammer and shit is the question. See, unlike George, I know not the most aesthetic pleasing person in the world. Okay. So,
What?
something off. This,
What do you say?
you had a share room.
He says he recognizes that unlike you, he recognizes he's not the most handsome man in the world.
Whatever. It's like day and night between him and me. Go ahead.
I agree, George.
And there was and the guy slept under me. 500 pounds. My gorgeous George. I'm like kidding. And diabetic. His diabetes was so bad, he had what was called Keatones. The only reason I know about this is both my grandmothers had it. Like you could literally smell how bad his blood sugar was not being managed by his grandma. It was that was when I decided, no, I'm not tolerating this shit. So at around 6 o'clock in the morning, I went to a motel. There we go. That's better. Now you get to see. Actually, let me say some, like, where I am. Hopefully, get an idea of the typical area I am. Better than where I was before in that aspect. And I decided to get the fuck out of Dodge that night. So,
I'll be back. I'm going to go take a piss.
8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I forgot to mention this part. There was 4 people. Not 4. Sorry. I can count. 4. There's 4 people in there with long hair. One that was very similar to me. The other thing I forgot to mention about this place was all the fucking people were sketchy, which was, another reason why I desperately wanted to leave that place. Apparently from what the house manager told me, it came in there, one of the people instantly ran off, and of course the deputies that person looked like me. I was not in the shape to do that at that time. I was really sore.
You have running water?
Getting into on bed was a challenge for me at that time. So after that, I stayed with a friend for a while, and then I had a bunch of other health scares. Almost lost, but no, that happened afterwards. Had a stroke, and lost both my kidneys. Well, actually, no, I lost almost both my kidneys from accident that I had, which is the thing I'm going to get to here. So, a stroke. And it took me about that long to stroke.
It goes on for another 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, it's like talking about that he wasn't the person that got served or somebody that looked like him jumping out the window. What the hell? I mean, someone else that looked like him jumping out the window. It's like he's reaching. He's really fucking reaching.
I don't think Roger, I think that he's talked to somebody who's given some advice, and that's what he's going with.
Somebody's giving him some advice.
Yeah, I mean, he's ill, George. He was hospitalized for a very long time.
I have no sympathy for that. If he's ill, then he needs to fucking say, hey, I'm done with this. If he's ill, he needs to say, I'm done with this. I'm more concerned about my situation. I'm tired of trolling this man.
Well, the problem is the U.S. Marshals have admitted that they didn't serve him.
What?
Yep.
What do you? Wait. No, of course they served him.
That's not what I'm saying.
What is that noise?
My computer, George. I work
They have served him. They said they served him. He jumped out of a window.
No, they served somebody that said they were him. That's different.
Well, of course he's going to say that. Of course he's going to say that.
Well, he never returned to that address, George. The address you served him at was nothing but a flop house that he didn't live at. He's going to say that he never received service and that he's now filed a notice of appearance and he's asking to come in. My computer's going fucking nuts.
Unbelievable. Well, that's the Los Amigos is where his parents live. That's where he lived at. Now they probably kicked his ass out finally. But he lived at his Los Amigos at his parents' house for a long period. And they obviously kicked his ass out because he was too much trouble. So a 40-year-old man living with his parents still, yeah.
Well, that's not where the proof of service was served on him.
I don't know where George gets off talking about another 40-year-old man living with their parents when Gigi admits that he lived with his dad in their home until his dad died and George was like 40 himself at that point. Then he lived in the house his dad gave him. Like, that's some big accomplishment. Ironically, this video is recorded 4 months after he lost that house, so haha, fuck Gigi.
U.S. Marshal said that he served 16261 Galaxy Drive, Westminster. Document left with administration. You've got some service problems now, and
he's trying to get off on a technicality is what he's trying to do.
It clearly says that they didn't serve him where you say they did. It's got one sister, California, and that the service was left with a housing manager named Ivan Isaacs. That's who the marshal served, George, and that's who you won on. Ivan Isaacs. Not you don't have...
Who would say that they were... Wait, hold on a second. Who is going to say that they're Shawn Brennan if they're not Shawn Brennan?
It's not that. It was left with a housing manager whose name was Ivan Isaacs at a place where Shawn Brennan did not live.
Well, then he obviously had lived there for a short time.
That's not how service works, George, but I don't know any fucking thing. I'm just a stupid...
Okay, and now you want to pile on that, don't you?
No, I'm just saying. I'm trying to help you, and you continue to be insulting. You don't have time for this.
Okay, listen.
You only have time for this when you're interested. Like when other people that are willing to help you have time, it don't matter then. You push everything to the last fucking second.
No. I'm not. No, you're taking this shit and you're twisting.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that I'm looking at the proof of service. I have real pacer. I'm able to pull the document.
He's trying to get off on a technicality is what he's trying to do.
No service, no suit. It's not a technicality. It's a clear and unambiguous no service, no suit. Not to mention,
Amigos is where he resided at with his parents. He lived with his parents, Lynn and John Brennan.
That's not where service was perfected. Name and title of individual served, Ivan Isaacs. Address, 14661 Galaxy Drive, Westminster, California. You can't use the tools to help you and then not let someone else use them.
There's got to be a connection then there. There's got to be a connection then there where he obviously
got it, and that's just that. Service wasn't perfected. He's going to do it.
Obviously, was perfected because at first he did respond. At first he did respond to it.
No, someone alleging to be him may have, but not to the third amended complaint either, George. You got to remember that. He never once filed any response to the third amended complaint.
Well, I know that, but he did, in the original one, he filed something. So then whoever, that wasn't him, so then someone fraudulently pretended to be him.
He was never served because he was hospitalized, George.
No. The case was September the 12th, 2016. He was not hospitalized back then. Even as far as March 2017, when you came on.
But
2017, when you came on, he was very much active, and he responded in the first complaint. He responded in a vexation litigant response, and then claims about a vexation litigant response.
Okay, but you had the third amended complaint served on Ivan Isaacs. That's who you served.
It was served on Shawn Brennan's name.
Why does the United States Marshal's receipt for proof of service not show that?
Why did they say that they served Shawn Brennan?
They never said they did. They just talked to you because it was funny. They're U.S. Marshals and you made them laugh. They left the third complaint with a man named Ivan Isaacs at 16261 Galaxy Drive, Westminster, California. Remarks were 16 miles in total, left with administration admin.
Well, he had to be living there then for them to do that.
No, he didn't.
Well, then why would they serve it? Well, then that's not mine. That's the situation that they made an error on. Then.
Nevertheless, it doesn't. Regardless whose fault it is, the fact still remains that he was never served the third amended complaint. He's not even a proper party to this lawsuit.
That's bullshit.
Tell it to the judge, not me.
So that's what they're hiding from me.
It's not hiding anything. It's public record. I got the document in front of me.
Well, that's what they're sealing, though.
No. This is document number fucking
111.
No. Looking for the service document here. Document number 41. If you look at document, so you can't see this because you don't pay for the service. You have to physically go down there and get it. Here it is, summons and civil case. I'm looking at the proof of service. Person to be served, 127 Santiago Street. But
that said that it was Shawn Brennan they served, so obviously then they made up a story then.
George, I'm looking at the summons and the return.
I understand, but they said they served Shawn Brennan, so then obviously they didn't. I don't get this.
They served Ivan Isaacs, housing manager, 16261.
He must have had lived there.
They lied to you. That's all that boils down to.
What's the fucking... So, wait.
The U.S. Marshals don't give a shit. They're United States Marshals. They can do any fucking thing they want to. The only thing the judge has sealed is Shawn's medical records because of HIPAA laws.
This is fucking corruption. That's what this is.
Corruption?
It's corruption. It's fucking corruption. I mean, what the fuck? They were supposed to serve him.
Well, they didn't. I didn't catch this technicality till just now. But that's why they're doing it. Let me grab a cigarette. Hold on.
Fuck. I mean, no, because... So because of their fucking mix-up, their purposely mix-up here, then he doesn't get... He's not a part of the lawsuit.
Because of the U.S. Marshals fuck-up, he is not a proper party, and that motion for default judgment is of no avail. Because the record that it's issued on reflects that he was served. And you got to remember, George, normal people don't file as a pauper. They pay for the services. So when you hire a private process server, you get a private person to make sure service is perfected. You just had a U.S. Marshal you don't know do it.
That's part of the court system. That's what they do.
And they served it for whatever reason. That's where it was left. I can't do anything about it, other than trying to reserve him at an appropriate address.
They served him. They had to be. They are detectives themselves, so to speak.
No, they're not. They're fucking federal cops.
Well, okay, they're federal cops, but they know things and can
this
find
is
out
what
things.
It says. Name and title of individual served. Ivan Isaacs, housing manager. 16261 Gal.
That was never said or never brought up, and now told that just now or just recently.
Because he got out of the hospital, found out he was sued, and started looking at it.
He knew he was sued because he responded to the original complaint.
All they are glorified security guards, George, serving papers. That's it. It was served on 5/9/2017 at 12:10 in the afternoon, California time. Shawn Brennan was never served. You can't prove he was. You fuck. Unless you read.
Well, they didn't bring up they didn't mention anything about Ivan, whoever. They didn't say anything about Ivan.
Because if he's smart, he's saving that until you try to proceed. And then when try to effectuate the judgment, then he can move to vacate it for lack of subject matter or lack of personal jurisdiction, and away it goes.
Well, that's a technicality, is what that is. That's a fucking technicality. But
it's a really big one. No service, no suit. Now you have
the problem. That's the marshal's fault then. That's the court's fault.
Next thing he's going to do is move to change venue to California because of his disability. He's a stroke victim.
It's not my problem. He fucking caused this shit. He's the one that caused. He fucking did what he did. He fucking tormented me for fucking 6 years.
But he was never served, so he's not a proper party to this litigation.
His address was Los Amigos. That was his original address, was Los Amigos. Okay, well, then I need to file something Monday.
I'm looking at the proof of service. I'm looking at the U.S. Marshals process receipt and return.
When was this discovered? When was this discovered?
For me, just a second ago.
Well, then, so what? So it's sitting here over the past year and a half, and this is his Trump.
Responded is because he was never served. That explains it, and it makes great sense. It says on the summons, serve at 5/8. So I'm assuming it says number of process to be served, number of parties to be served to. So what I'm assuming is they went there and they said he doesn't live here. This is where he lives. And they took it and dropped it off there. But he doesn't live there, and it's a
then if that is true, then either he had an affiliation for them to go there. They either had an affiliation for them to go there, or B, the marshals fucked up, and that's the onus on the courts and the marshals. So they need to re-serve him.
You need to ask him to serve him at an appropriate place because he's never been served. The burden of proof
they had an address of Los Amigos. That was where he resided at. That's where his parents were.
And then they called you and told you some story about somebody jumping out the window while they were having coffee because they knew you'd believe it. And you fucking fell for all of it.
That's a bunch of shit.
Look, go down to the house and ask them to give you documents.
Why would a marshal make up a fabricated story like that?
Because it's funny.
It's not funny. It's not what they would do. It's just a liar. Make up a prefabricated story that,
I never heard this. You're the one who told me, George, that the U.S. Marshal said he jumped out the window and all this and that.
Yeah, of course.
All this says is that they returned, that they were served on a housing manager, and that was it, and they left.
Well, then they obviously dropped the ball. The marshals were the one that dropped the ball and gave a bogus filing, and there's a connection there with that address to where he was at, or friend's place they discovered, or they purposely just randomly just made an egregious error just like that, just to cause an issue, and then, so there's no lawsuit for whatever reason, which doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. Why would they have no earthly idea, so they can make up a fabricated story? I mean,
Me and Marty have both had to ride around and issue service to process. You bid a stack of fucking papers, you fill your fucking car up, and you drive around and drop the shit off. They don't make any fucking money, George. U.S. Marshals barely make fucking $50 a year. Everyone uses private process service for just this reason, and you didn't. You wanted to go the cheap route and not pay for nothing.
The affiliation, there had to be some affiliation to that address, or his friend might have, Ivan could be his friend.
If I had to serve this, and they said serve at here, I would have went to that address first. If I opened the door and the person clearly told me that the person didn't live there but lived somewhere else, that's where I'd go. And maybe that's where they thought he was staying. But in his video, he made clear that it was a flop house.
It's a recovering house, or like a recovering house, or whatever.
A flop house where kids stay and, for a couple of days and move on, like hostels. They don't have power to search property or anything, George, when they're serving a fucking summons. It's not a search warrant. Now what are we going to do about when he tries to move the case to California? How in the fuck are you going to pay for that? That's going to cost me a lot of fucking money to fly out for that.
It's not going to California at all. It's not going. It's going to go right back here. They need to reserve it.
But you don't have a proper party to serve. He has a disability. To them, you're picking on a fucking retard.
He is a retard from the very fucking beginning. But it doesn't matter. He's responsible for what he does.
He's never
for what he does.
Served with the third amended complaint. Yes, he may have been served with the second one, but once an amended complaint is filed, the other one is a nullity. I've got Fourth Circuit decision.
The address that we had for him was 5809 Lost Shawn and Lynn Brennan.
And now,
because they said that he was there.
Hold on for a second. I got an attorney. Hold on.
That's it for today's video. As I said on my channel update, this is going to be the last commentary I do for a bit, as I'm dedicating the time I'd normally spend on this series to put it towards the Gigi Lore video. I will eventually start up another season of the commentary, and I'm always open to suggestions for calls. Chris the Hacker calls are still on schedule, and I'll probably drop one next Tuesday. Alright, thanks everyone for listening, and have a good week.